Hello, David Mitchell. Lovely to have you here today to tell us about your book on the Song of Ascents. You say there are 15 secrets to the Song of Ascents. Will you tell us about them?
Yes, absolutely. There are 15 songs of ascents, as you say, and there are good reasons why there are 15 of them. I'm going to tell you 15 secrets about the 15 songs of ascents. Number 1, the first and most important reason is that 15 is the number of Yah, which is the short form of Yehovah, the personal name of the God of Israel. You see, in Hebrew, every letter is a number, and the two letters of Yah, Yod and He, have numerical values of 10 and 5, so they add up to 15.
Ah, right.
The second reason, number 2, why there are 15 psalms is because the psalms, or songs of ascents, were always sung at the night service before the first day of the Feast of Tabernacles, on the 15th day of the month. The Feast of Tabernacles started at sundown and ran all through the night. In the Hebrew calendar, the night comes before the day, so the 15th night is the night before the 15th day, and it happened on the 15th day of the month.
Okay, makes sense.
Number 3, just like we celebrate festivals like Easter, Pentecost, Christmas, the ancient Israelites did the same. They had Passover, same time as our Easter. They had the Feast of Weeks, the same time as our Pentecost. And they had the Feast of Tabernacles, their harvest festival, in the autumn month of Tishri. Fourth reason, all the big Hebrew feasts took place on the 15th day of the month of Israel's lunar calendar. And there was a very good reason for this. The feasts of Passover and Tabernacles both had a nighttime element to them. Passover took place in the home at night, and Tabernacles took place in the temple at night. And the 15th night was the night of the full moon. Back in the days before electric light, you needed the full moon to see or do anything at night. So these night feasts were not dark. Everything was flooded by the moonlight of the 15th night of the month. Number 5, another reason why there are 15 songs of ascents is that there were 15 steps in the temple, leading up from the lower court to the upper court of Israel. In fact, these 15 steps are still there to this day, buried intact beneath the 7th century steps that lead up to the Dome of the Rock.
Wow.
And the Levites sang the 15 psalms of ascents on these 15 steps. In fact, they sang one psalm on each step going up, and as they did so, they acted out a pilgrimage within the temple at the same time as the Israelites came up to worship at the great feast.
Okay.
Number 6, it was the Merarite Levites who sang these psalms in the temple. And if you want to know why it was the Merarites, it will take a while to explain, so you need to read the book. And the cantor sang the first part of each verse, and the choir replied with the second part. We call this responsory singing, and it was common all over the ancient East. So they had a choir in their worship, just like we have. Israel believed the Lord loved the sound of a choir praising him together.
Nice.
These 15 songs were first sung on the night before the dedication of Solomon's temple, which took place on the morning of the Feast of Tabernacles on the 15th of Tishri in the year 959 BC. The first psalm, Psalm 120, was sung early in the morning, around 1 or 2 a.m., and the last psalm, Psalm 134, was sung just before dawn. In fact, secret number 8, the Levites sang these songs every year for almost 1,000 years.
Wow.
From the dedication of Solomon's temple in 959 BC to the destruction of the Second Temple in AD 70. The only break they had was the 70 years when the Babylonians destroyed the temple in the 6th century BC.
How extraordinary.
Secret number 9. There are little internal echoes of the original life setting of these 15 psalms. For instance, they sang Psalm 120 in the courtyard before they climbed the stairs, telling how they were going to depart from their evil circumstances to go up to Jerusalem. Secret number 10. In Psalm 121, I lift my eyes to the hills. Where does my help come from? This refers to the hills of Jerusalem and the temple nestling there. The Merarite Levites, the singers, they lived across the Jordan, bordering Syria. And as they travelled west to Jerusalem, they travelled uphill from the Jordan Valley, and they saw Jerusalem among the mountaintops. So when they sang in the temple, they were singing about their journey, about the journey of all the Israelites coming to worship, looking upwards toward the new and glorious temple, the dwelling place of Jehovah, their helper. Secret number 11. When they sang, Our feet are standing in your gates, Jerusalem, that's Psalm 122, they were thinking of the pilgrims entering the city and seeing the new temple for the first time. And secret number 12. When they sang, I wait for Jehovah more than watchmen for the morning, that's Psalm 130. At that point, they could see the last guard of night watchmen standing around them on the temple walls, waiting for the sun to rise. And secret number 13, when they sang, Bless the Lord, all you servants of the Lord, who stand by night in the house of the Lord. They were singing their final song to the temple Kohanim, the temple priests, who were ministering all night long in the holy house. Secret number 14, I'm almost there. Let me tell you a bit more about these 15 steps. There are ancient traditions of the churches of the East that say that Mary, the mother of the Lord, was taken to the temple when she was 3 years old. And when she entered the court, she ran up to these 15 steps and she danced on them. Then she ran straight up the steps to the great gate, the Nicanor gate, and up to the holy house. She wasn't supposed to do that. Only the Kohanim on duty could do that. But everybody was so amazed by her behaviour, and everyone loved her so much, that no one rebuked her. And you'll find all about that in the Gospel of the Nativity of Mary and in the Gospel of Pseudo-Matthew.
Amazing.
And secret number 15. So these 15 psalms on the 15 steps on the 15th night, in the name of the God whose name Yah is 15. Imagine yourself there, a warm September in the Middle East, standing under the great full moon, surrounded by laughter and joy and feasting, with the Levites singing these 15 psalms on 15 steps inside the holy temple. That's the Songs of Ascents.
Well, thank you very much, David Mitchell.
And if you want to know a whole lot more on the subject, you really should read this book. It will
I
tell
highly
you
recommend
a whole lot
it.
more.
Thank you.
Thank you.